we are in. It's been a while. We are in the Tirisful Glades.
Mhm.
You guys have been here a while. You've had a few adventures, and you kind of done a big loopy thing around. Met a few people, made a few friends, seen a few interesting things. But you finally have. Sort of, as we were getting into last session, you were finally cracking on with some of the spying that you came here to do in the first place. So the first place on the list that you decided to approach was Death Knell, and discovered that rather than the expected little town featuring graveyards there where they recruit dig new Forsaken out of the ground, the entire thing had been converted or surrounded by a sort of Caesarean-style forest fortress, palisade walls, like rows of tents inside a command center, housing 5 new legions of the Forsaken army. And by new, I mean Silas, who was familiar with the heraldry and all the present legions of the Forsaken army, had never heard of or seen the banners of any of these 5. You watched them overnight, and in the morning, the legions broke camp, packed up their tents, and marched off east, slightly south, towards the Undercity, towards Forsaken High Command, that sort of general direction. And you guys were making a decision as a group about what to do next. And I think there were 3 broad options, one of which was kind of an amalgamation of the other 2. And at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to Silas to make the decision as the group leader. Not that the other 2 aren't free characters and can realistically do whatever they would like, but in the strict command structure of obeying the Alliance military, it's Silas's decision. So it was a decision to make a note of what had been seen, and continue the mission, move on towards the Undercity, move on towards Brill, make observations there, or, in light of the drastic nature of the information received, to entirely call off the mission, retreat to Alliance lands, deliver your report, deeming it of such great importance that it needs to be immediately communicated. And then, like, the third option was considered was somewhere in between the 2, which was to kind of split the party affair, where I believe what was discussed was Shallan and Talia would break away, head back to Alliance lands, and make the report. Report would have been seen, while Silas would continue with the original objectives of the mission. Silas, you certainly, like, you're behind enemy lines, you're the one in command. It's certainly your prerogative to make this call. Like, when you get back to if you ever get back to Stormont, no one's going to say, no, you didn't have the authority to call off the mission. You're the commanding officer in a situation. You're the one with the ability to make the call. So it is up to you to decide what to do. I guess I'd say that in the general scheme of things, going by your training, if you were sort of going by what you had been trained to do in the situation as a spy, you probably would, the default would be the safe option, caution, rather than a caution over risk would be so basically abort the mission now, go back and report. But James Bond never gone to films by doing what he was told to do by MI6.
I gotta go assassinate Sylvanas. I know the real job.
You're trusted.
To be fair, he's actually a shitty spy.
You're trusted to make this decision. But yeah, that's just basically, by the book, that's what you would probably do in a situation. Yeah, and we talked a long time about it. You guys are still just, I think, on a hill just north of Death Knell, from where you'd been watching the goings on. And yeah, that's where we are. Long and considered silence, lasting several weeks before.
It was a deep.
We're all just kind of frozen in place temporarily.
Okay, so I don't know where exactly set off. I guess we did placing around, like, camping that day, so deciding. And, like, from what I remember we were saying, so I know we have some differing opinions on the best way to proceed. That's and it's tough. Obviously, I think I do in the end have the final say, as this is, I guess, my job. I'll be the one who takes the blame if it all goes wrong. And I think we should, as we talked about before, follow at least the tracks towards the Undercity. Make sure, is that exactly where the armies are heading? Is there a portal nearby where they are actually using for transportation? Do they suddenly cut south or north, where they're planning to go to? But I believe on considering the mission that my work scouting out the sewer entrance into the Undercity, I believe to be too dangerous. Even in the beginning, that was the part of the mission that had the most danger, the most possibility of capture, and even in the original details, I was only meant to stay there for 1 day. I think even staying around the Undercity for that long now it's too risky. However, I think the option of you two heading south towards Gilneas, while I cut more northeast towards the Crusade Outpost and onwards towards Half Glen, it's still a good possibility. While I think it is smart at this point to forego scouting out the Undercity, the Zeppelin detail from Vril would still be useful information to know, and it is possible that some proportion of the army is heading towards Vril to make use of the Zeppelin towers there. And I think I can scout that out relatively safely before quickly venturing onto the east into our safe lands. But again, I think it is still slightly safer, obviously, to retreat as fast as possible and head to Gilneas, which is why I would urge you two to take that route. Thoughts, questions?
And it's all dependent on what the army does.
Of course.
Because what if it's heading south?
Well, yes, in that case, we will have to reconsider, but I would rather not we'll question that possibility until we have to. But for now, we are in agreement we should at least travel further along their tracks, see where it is. Indeed, they look like they're heading.
Agreed.
Okay, let's just go then.
Okay, so you guys
follow them.
Yeah, you break camp.
Sneakily.
You break camp and
Better blend in with
sneakily move to.
You got to all survive, right? It's hard to follow like 5 legions of soldiers.
Pursue the new Forsaken army on its route east. No, it is not difficult to follow them. You have not any difficulty at all picking up the tracks of.
Nice.
It's about 25,000 Forsaken that just came through here.
Maybe they all rolled really well on self though. If you roll 25,000 D20s.
No, you have absolutely no difficulty following them, and you would have no difficulty following them for like several weeks.
Yeah.
After they pass through an area, so that's all fine. But I guess the question is, they are by just the nature, even if they're sort of marching all the time, by the nature of being such a large and unwieldy group, going to travel much more slowly than you. They have, I honestly can't remember the exact timeline that we discussed, so I'm going to say it's been 2 hours since they left. So they've got about a 2-hour head start on you guys.
Yep.
But within a day of traveling, you will catch up on an army that large that has 25,000.
How many days army march would I consider to be from Death Now to the Undercity? Like an army this size?
I would say 2 to the Undercity. But like a day's forced march with like a higher pace would get you to Forsaken High Command if that was your destination. You could do that in 1 day.
So Forsaken High Command, is that just like a barracks outside the city? Or like is it like where the High Commanders live, or is it like barracks?
Yeah, it's a military command center. It's not just a barracks, it's like a large group of barracks. It doesn't play necessarily like it's not the base of operation. Well, again, it's a base of operation. It's not the home of like the entire Forsaken armies, and they're not normally always there. But it can host them if it
can
needs
host.
to.
Could it host an army this size?
Yeah.
But this is extra than a normal army size.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could. Yeah, like I mean, the area around it is clear. They could.
And
set up.
Is there a road from Definel to there? Like Definel's normally like the recruiting ground, right? So I'm assuming there is.
There is now.
Yeah. Okay. But there wasn't before.
Not a built.
Nothing for like wagons or carriages or anything.
No.
Okay. Okay. So while we're walking, I guess I'll say the others. If we get to the high command and they appear to at least be stationed there for the meantime, I think we shouldn't wait for them to leave. We don't know how long they would stay while they wait for orders. At that point, I would ask you two to head south. Even if they head southward well, the two of you traveling alone should prove greatly faster and should better get to safety long before they intercept you.
Right, but maybe two of us should stay on the mission. But I'm not sure if that spells disaster for the one trying to get the information across.
So Silas, say you never met us, and you're sent on this mission.
Yes.
What would you do?
I would head back by myself.
So the information is important enough to get back.
Yeah, if it was a case of the information,
the rest.
If the information, I would say, if the information could not get back without the three of us traveling back, I would suggest the three of us traveled. However, I think we can get the information back without also fulfilling the mission, the other aspects of the mission. Also, I don't believe I think the journey itself is safer than the journey northeast, but I don't believe it greatly. So I think if I avoid the Undercity to a large enough margin, that journey should be safe enough to do alone.
Don't worry, Shalom.
Oh, I'm not worried about my own safety.
Oh, you're worried about me, Shalon. That's very sweet.
You do have a tendency to get yourself in a little bit of trouble.
It's always worked out fine by the end.
Mostly because one of us saved your ass.
Yep, exactly. However, I'm a lucky boy. It'll be okay. But Shalon, if it was up to you, all three of us would head south.
Yes.
And if it was up to you, God, what's your name, Jackie? You don't have your name in the 20. Talia. And if it was up to you?
I think I'd send me myself.
South or to continue the mission?
South. I believe Lan could be invaluable to you as you continue playing. And take care of myself.
Flying Shalon can't.
Probably, well, I'm just saying I believe we could all survive and get the information safe hands. I'm just saying it'd probably be me.
I look like I'm thinking about it.
You certainly do.
I give the look that says I'm thinking about this.
But on a side note, I do agree with you that Real could be very important. But that's why I wouldn't send all three of us.
Yeah. Right, I'll give it some thought and make my final decision when we need to. Chris, does it look now to like? Does it seem quite like not obvious, but like we've been traveling for a couple of hours, right? Like we're heading in the direction of the high command, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess that makes sense. Maybe that's where they get the final orders or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but coming back to like the original question, which sparked some more debate that I was kind of trying to ask, is so you guys could easily catch up with an overtaken army
yes, right, yeah.
if you wanted to, but like
Do not want to.
I assume. I assume you're not. I assume you're not like trying.
I want to go in front of them, stand on a
catch up
cliff,
with
and
them
be
and kill
like,
them.
"On guard."
I mean, it also kind of depends on the layout of the land.
Sure, but like, so how far back do you want to be? Do you want to get within like distance where you can see them visually, or do you want to just keep outside of that sort of closeness of range, but
There
leave the tracks to follow?
like a real big moving force. I didn't see them from really far away. Yeah, like you can see, like not details, but can you see like horses and so like signs of movement from really far away?
Like you can see like dust clouds rising, smoke rising, and so on. That would indicate their presence. But like you have to get quite not close, but within probably half a mile or so if you want to be able to actually see them on the ground.
I would say like see them to the naked eye, or could I use a scope and see them from further out?
No, it's not an issue of
it's just seeing the actual physical.
It's just terrain, and
I'm happy to be like a kilometer out. Like maybe like could we be like keep a distance where basically like we can kind of run forward, see them, and then like kind of duck back, but obviously not like just run 10 steps, but like if we increase our speed by like half an hour, we can catch up with them.
Find the line of visibility.
But no, you know what I mean. We run half an hour, or I run by myself half forward to make sure they're still within sight, and then I drop back to catch up with the other two, kind of thing.
I've got a question. Maybe my character will notice. Like army protocols, like spies, they obviously send like forward scouts usually. I'm not sure if they do it in their own lands, but is it usual for like people to be around the army that we have to be careful of, even regulars or something like that?
So this army is true undead, where they wouldn't have to consume food, or I forget if this is like a Forsaken.
Good Forsaken, I think.
So they get to eat and get supplies of some kind, which
they're
means
basically humans, except undead.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but that still does mean that they have to supply the army. So they have to have supply chains built in, or they're having advanced parties go out to do scouting, to do hunting, to prepare, sites.
But also, this is a one day. If they're
this is
gonna
a discussion you guys are having, or are these questions aimed at me?
No, we're having it.
Okay,
I think.
sure.
There's also the fact, but like I'm not sure too much about it. But if it is indeed, I think they can make this march to the high command in one day. If they're Forsaken, I think they don't need much food, and it's possible the generals are pushing them to just make the march there. And once they're stationed, they have a much more large food supply, I assume. On a long march, I think we would need to worry more about supply chains. But if they are simply heading to high command or even the Undercity, it's more likely, I think, they not got quite so many or scouts or for
throwing this possibility out there. We were spotted a while back, but they might still be on guard. Do we be careful of scouts?
Always be careful.
Oh,
Always be careful.
I've been on heightened senses this entire time, but
Yeah. Even more careful.
even more careful. I mean, I'll try.
Yeah, right. You better try. I'd like to, like at some point, Chris, if we like get like say on the map we get like here-ish. Wait, how do I ping it? I had a click. Wait, no, there's a fucking line in the way. I'm moving it. If we get like there, to like maybe I'm guessing like that's like maybe 5 miles outside high command. I'm not sure exactly where it is.
I've updated the map to be scaled now, so you can actually measure things. I know
Hey.
it hasn't been for a very long time, but I was like, what? I just thought to myself today, I don't know why it isn't, so I did read.
Okay, so yeah, so maybe when they're 7 miles, maybe about that distance.
Sure.
Does anything happen if we're like still following them before we get like to there? Before the army appears to be about there?
No. Well, actually, I don't know. I need to roll some random encounters, but nothing to be specific.
Surely the army's like scared off all the wildlife.
A dragon appears. There he goes.
Gotta find that dragon, figure.
Oh, he's still rolling outside roll 20, isn't he?
Oh, he's rolling in another room.
I mean, there's definitely things that could potentially be encountered, like deserters or something. Not that's hugely likely in their own lands. But if I roll like an at 20 on this, no. Okay, nothing happens, and nothing happens by that point.
Okay. So
It's been most of the day. By the time you're getting there, the sun's getting low in the sky.
Okay.
Sounds good.
But they're still marching.
Yeah.
So it looks like they'll probably try to get to a final destination before breaking camp. Okay. I'll suggest we keep on following them until it looks like they either break camp or it gets too dark, into which we can see. Like, do they have torches and stuff or anything?
Yeah.
Forsaken can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't have crazy dark.
By this point, yes, the army
It's probably
has
pretty easy to see.
like probably 1 in every 20 soldiers is carrying it.
Oh yeah, so really fucking bright. Yeah, that's what 1,000 torches. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, suggest we keep following them until it looks like they break for the night or reach their final destination. Even if that means we obviously have to go over like a long march or whatever.
Okay. So, as you're getting to within, say, a couple miles, 2.5 miles out from Forsaken High Command, you find yourselves coming to a large hill that's sort of directly in front of you. The tracks of the Forsaken army have diverted to go around the hill to the right, so go south around it. By like your orienteering and knowledge and map reading, you reckon High Command is probably basically just on the other side of this hill. So what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to continue following the tracks around?
Does it look like there are any tracks that go up onto the hill, or is there anything on the hill that we can see?
How high a hill is it? Well, how long will it take to
or a
climb the hill?
tower or anything?
Give me a survival check for if there's anything going up there.
Okay. Can I know how long you take to go up? I guess.
Talia, assist me.
Let's say the hill is basically 2 miles across at its base.
Yeah.
So it's a mile uphill to the top of the
That's
hill.
a really fucking big. Wait, but it's not a mile like high.
No, it's not a mile.
Okay.
It's not a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Like the distance, on the horizontal distance.
So it's a mile, so I could get to the top in 4 minutes. I'm a fast walker.
Yeah, because you can do a 4-minute mile uphill. No.
Yeah. Right, but like 15 minutes.
I'll force you
if I ran,
Get
could I
the
get
fuck out of here, Roger Bannister.
If I ran, could I get up in 15 minutes? I'm like a pretty, I'm in good shape. I'm a walker.
Yeah, no, it's not
Okay.
like it's not. This is going to be the hike of a day for you guys.
I like how I'm a Worgen automatically equals in good shape.
I mean, it's a dog.
It's a literal move.
Yes, because none of us have ever seen a fat dog.
20 agility dog. I'm a fast dog, man.
Yeah. That's fine. So can I get some assist from Talia on this?
Yes.
Cool.
Not sure what I'd be doing, but
It's like, hey, look.
Well,
there's
apparently keeping us from a nat 1. That's what you're doing.
Good work, Checker. You were like, no, the hill in front of us, not behind.
I'm like, oh, duh, of course. Yeah.
No, there's no signs of anyone from the army you've been following heading up the hill.
Alrighty.
could be a very nice
All
vantage.
sneaky deaky like. I think we go up to the hill because it'll give us a vantage point.
Yeah, yes. Do we think we should all go up or?
Yes.
Okay. Just check. Alright,
Keeping this party together as long as I can.
Okay, let's head to let's sneakily now try to climb to the top of the hill. I am trying to
What time of day is it?
It's probably quite late now, I think.
Yeah, it's sunset.
Oh, beautiful.
It is dusk. As
Beautiful.
people are climbing the side of this hill.
Stealthily climbing
And
the
there
side
are
of the hill, Chris. Stealthily.
Indeed, stealthily climbing the side.
You're being stealthy, right, Talia?
Please don't make me roll a stealth check.
I'm just assuming you're
Well,
being stealthy.
just a second. I'm trying to remember reread the night elf thing because
That also.
You are invisible
when you're
in the
in
dark.
dim or dark light, you gain advantage on stealth checks. Would it be considered dim yet at sunset?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Fucking classes, dude. On permanent advantage, Chris. Give it to me.
And we can hide as a bonus action.
Well, I mean, most rogues can do that. But
Yeah, but we get that just for being us.
bullshit.
Just for being.
Jacker.
With advantage, so that's.
This cancels out. So it's just
Can I get advantage, Chris?
No.
But I'm hiding behind both of those, and they have advantage. So how can I hide without the
17.
advantage?
I did.
And that's only the
22.
first check. You have a second check still.
Oh, but
No,
I
because
have
he's in
this.
plate mail. So
Oh,
the
right. So it
advantage
balances
cancels.
out. I
Yeah.
forget.
He's no, she no longer has disadvantage, which is
Excellent.
helpful.
It's actually a big thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Okay, so we all stealthily climb the hill.
Okay.
Like,
Makes sense.
Give me
yeah.
perception checks.
Oh, I'm terrible at actors.
I think I'm pretty decent.
Oh, no, I have +6 now. Oh.
Is it 8 or 9? 8. Oh,
I get like
Excuse
enough
me.
expertise when I got this level check.
Um, you have advantage, Silas, actually. So give me another one
Oh, why?
because it's a small base check.
Oh,
Ooh.
Well,
No,
it's
boy.
partially.
I mean, the DC's lower for the smell bit, right?
So actually, it's pretty much simultaneously that you guys, as you're approaching the crest, the summit of the hill, the wind shifts slightly, and there's a smell of cook fires, or a cook fire, something cooking, a slight sour tinge of smoke on the wind, and also as the wind is now, but it's like the slight echo of conversation is audible from around like the other side of the summit, like not quite at the top, but just a bit down. There's an encampment. It's really not possible to tell from the information you have, like how large it is, but there's some kind of encampment or group there.
Okie dokie.
But we can hear like mumbles of conversation, and it's not like a rabble, so it's pretty
Yeah.
contained at least. The kind of motion my head is to investigate.
So we're how far from the top of the hill are we now, Chris?
A couple of 100 feet.
Okay. So we could technically circle around while staying 200 feet from the summit, and maybe like try to get a view to the commands from the other side, right? But without actually going up.
Yep.
I would suggest we try to do that.
I guess we could, yeah.
Well, also, what's the terrain like? Like, are there bushes or like high grass? Like, basically just earth. Like, is there anything to hide behind? Kind of thing?
There's trees.
Often?
So
yeah, Tourist Sport Glades is pretty far out. Actually, let me give me one second.
Okay.
while you're doing that, I don't know if you can be honest, but we're technically downwind, right? It's like
Wind has shifted, but for now we were downwind, yeah.
yeah. But before, it's not like it was going the opposite direction where our set was going towards them, or did it do that?
He said the wind shifted.
Right,
No,
but again-
the wind shifted, and that's what allowed you to do
Yeah, but again, a shift can be like this to this, not this to that.
Yeah.
It didn't completely reverse direction.
Plus, I smell just like a wild animal, so they have nothing.
So I mean, I could.
I should
So I guess I
probably use
lean
my
down.
conditioner, shouldn't I?
Yeah, exactly. Or bathe it all, really.
Okay, hang on. So, like, this is someone's rendering of Warcraft. I just found this yesterday on a subreddit. Like some World of Warcraft zones in Unreal Engine 4, and I think the timestamp I linked to that is in Terraspore Glades. I mean, not that you need to watch the whole thing, but that's just.
Oh, that's really weird. That's very easy.
That is the basic terrain of.
Okay.
It's probably a little sparser than that.
Yeah, but on a hill, yeah.
But not significant.
Oh, then yeah, I think we can safely kind of venture just around the hill, so we're still a couple hundred feet from the summit, and see if we can get a view without actually being on the summit, but get a view of like the east.
Or I could cast guidance on you, and you can be extra sneaky deaky.
What do guidance do?
It gives you an additional D4.
Yeah,
Like have him go alone.
Yeah.
Just for a second, just to check and see what's there, and then come back and report to us.
Oh, you mean like check out the camp, or like because
Yeah.
Silas wants to go around instead?
But then we're getting into where any shift in the wind could give our scent to them, assuming they have
But like,
scent
I don't
receptors.
smell like much. Smell like nature. Just a doggy. But okay, if you can help me out, I can try to get a closer look. I have faith that unless they're very perceptive, I should be alright.
Gotcha. So I cast guidance on him. As quietly as I can.
I will be extra
Guidance.
stealthy as I try to sneak up the last couple hundred feet to try to get a view of their camp. So like,
The last couple hundred feet, so up to the summit or around?
up to the summit.
Up to the summit, okay.
But like maybe not like I don't know how flat is at the top. Like I don't know, so it's hard to like visualize. But I would say if I use my spy knowledge, we were gonna put a scout on this hill, I would be coming from the direction they wouldn't be looking in.
Well,
That's my-
like the scout, it depends what the scout's watching.
If the scout is watching the south,
The south. Okay, so you want to. Okay, so give me.
I want to be approaching kind of from the west. From the
You,
west, so the army came.
you pick out from your position a couple hundred feet from the summit, hidden stealth because you all rolled okay on stealth.
Yeah.
There's a bush up there,
Mm.
pretty much at the top.
I
slightly on
want-
the
I
north
want-
side.
There's gonna be a guy in that
you
bush.
reckon-
Are you sure it's a bush and
You
not a guy with the
reckon-
skin?
You nice meme. You reckon that if you were to post a sentry at the top of the hill, that bush is where you would hide that sentry.
Right. I load my sniper. So and okay.
Do you want to approach that bush from the north?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to skirt around and approach it from the north. The north.
Well, we're already
Yeah,
coming from
the
the north,
north.
weren't we?
No, we're coming from the west.
Oh, I guess
I
coming.
want to come from like the northwest, maybe like 340 degree
So
angle.
you just want to go a bit around to the left and kind of come up on his back
Yeah,
flank a little.
340 degrees. Like north and 0.
You get like your protractor out.
I'm a spy. I know these things.
Those mathematics.
240 degrees from north.
You're like
Wait, it's sunset, so I'm
No,
like the
no,
sun is setting in the west, so I like.
But hang on, you got to get the exact. So are you getting like the sextant out and
Sure, I'm getting the
the
sextant
charts of the time of
Yeah,
year?
you
So
got
it's
it.
like
You
you know
got it.
exactly what angle the sun.
You got it.
Okay. After intense mathematical deliberation.
Oh,
you
genius. So I want to
find
go from like that
340
angle,
degrees.
maybe
We
that
roll an
angle.
intelligence check.
Okay, so Talia and Shalan, you guys are just gonna. Your plan is just to sit tight for a minute and let.
Yeah, like
It's like
Silas scout
200
this out,
feet,
right?
right?
Yeah, in a
Like
bush
I
or
should.
something,
200 feet is pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
maybe
so
eat
you
some dwarf bread.
give me a stealth
That's-
check, Silas.
Now, do I have inspiration from anything? Let's see. No, I don't think so.
When did you use it?
Oh,
You're the only one who had some.
I had it at one point.
Someone had it, but they definitely.
I think I used it when I was trying to
used
shoot the Death Knight or something.
Yes, I believe that was it.
And it didn't work. Okay. Okay, so
No, didn't you stack the inspiration, the
Oh,
bardic
yeah.
inspiration,
Yeah,
for like the killing shot, and it
Mm.
did it?
right, so it's plus D4, right? From
Oh yeah, Chris, I need to remind you to give us inspiration.
21. It's not that good. It's bad.
Okay. So Silas melds into the shadows,
Give him
activates stealth.
inspiration. He's a rogue.
I'm hiding, Chris. Every time you hide, there's a rogue.
And you make your way around to your 340-degree angle, and then sneak up on the bush. Okay. So Silas, you arrive at the summit. Give me a perception check as you're drawing nearer.
Scent? Or no?
No. You determine from sort of 50 feet or so away as you're approaching that there is no one in the bush, as far as you can tell. No one hiding in or around the bush.
So the bush is looking out in what direction?
The bush isn't looking anywhere.
If I posted someone in the bush, would they be what area would they be looking at? Like, is it right? I mean, it's probably all
I mean, they
one
could
side.
they could look in any direction, but the direction they'd have most difficulty looking would be south because
Okay.
it's slightly on the.
I
slightly
will
on the
try
northern slope.
to enter the bush.
Okay,
With
so
your
you cross.
accent out? Or?
You cross.
Yep.
You
God.
cross the distance to the bush. and basically, as you're there, confirm that there is indeed no one in it.
Excellent.
Give me an investigation check, and then I'm going to talk a bit.
We're going to talk a bit. Are you going to put on Forsaken voice?
No.
Oh. Investigation. Where's
The bush don't see.
Investigation.
Greetings,
+1.
traveler.
Oh, yeah.
It's a burning bush. It's going to tell you to sacrifice.
11.
It's going to tell you not to sacrifice yourself.
11.
Okay, you find tracks indicating that someone has occupied this position at some point in the last few days. And the tracks lead away down the east face. And as you look down the east face of the hill, you see the following. About 150 feet away, down the slope, so near the summit, but not actually at the summit where you are, there is a camp, so basically a campsite. It's got not so much a wooden, like a palisade wall, but it's defended basically by a few. What's the term for them? Like I swear, in World War II they made them of metal, like these big kind of cross-shaped things. They put them on beaches doing peat.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's basically just there's like a couple of some of those and a couple of like pits dug with some stakes facing out. It's a lightly fortified position basically. It doesn't have like a wall fortification, but it has some basically some earth and earthwork.
Apparently they called Jack Hedgehog.
Okay, well there's some hedgehogs. There's a few of them constructed of wood, pits with stakes. There's like something that would be over describing it to call it a watchtower, but it's like an elevated platform that like with a ladder that someone could stand on and look out around, and kind of like encompassed in this little constructed area. There's a fire burning, and you count 6. I guess we'll call them sentries because that's basically what they are.
Yeah.
There, one who is currently like standing or sitting on like a stool atop the watchtower, the little platform. He's looking down out east towards Forsaken High Command, which I'll get on to describing in a second. And the others are just sitting around the fire, chatting. They're the voices you heard. You assume.
What language are you speaking?
Undercommon?
Okay.
Gutter speak? I can't remember what the technical term is. I think gutter speak is the technical term for the Forsaken language. So that's about 150 feet away down the slope. And then significantly farther away, like basically towards the bottom of the hill, is Forsaken High Command, which consists of a rather more impressive set of buildings. It's hard for you to get the exact details in the dim light, especially since the sun has just set on the side of the hill that puts the High Command in shadow. But you can see that the main structure is a large fortification. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be wrong to describe it as a small castle, which is sitting basically just slightly up the hill, maybe an elevation of about 100 feet or so from the base. Just to its right, there's a tall stone tower, and then further to its left and further down the hill, so basically at the base of the hill, there's a second watchtower. So not quite flanking it symmetrically. One's a little further away and down the hill. But there's a castle. There's these 2 stone watchtowers. In front of the castle, so at the base of the hill, appears to be a lumberyard where things are being constructed, siege engines, that sort of thing. It's hard for you to really get a count or observe exactly what stage of construction anything's at, but from like what things you can make out there, that's what you estimate it to be. And then outside of that, and the kind of spreading a big semicircle out eastwards, sort of surrounding all this castle and the lumberyard and the watchtowers and so on in a big swooping C shape. The army you've been following all day is setting up camp.
Okay.
pitching tents, lighting fires, digging trenches. They're not constructing any kind of fortification like walls, like formal fortifications, but they're making it a defensible position with kind of similar structures.
They're making a defensible position. Okay.
Similar structures like trenches.
Would they do this? They're only saying for one night.
Yeah, it would be common practice. Like this, in fact, that's what you'd estimate. That it would be common practice for a short-term stay. That this would be the degree of fortifications that you would construct.
Okay.
If you like a competent and a competent and considerate commander would order these fortifications built if he were just being cautious. But yeah, these are the kind of things that take a couple of hours for them all to be prepared. So appropriate.
It's just as much for protection as it usually is to keep the actual army itself from falling into chaos, right? Like starting to gambling and everything else that happens along with the army if they're just sitting on their hands.
Sure. Yeah, it's defining the border, the boundaries of this is where the army is located.
Okay. I will head back towards the others.
Okay. Yeah. You slip away. Do you make any effort to cover your tracks, or?
Yeah. I don't know how many tracks I left, but I will attempt to not have any be visible, at least, especially.
Give me a survival check.
No move form.
Yeah, I'm always in move form. So Wolfie.
If you haven't used guidance yet, you can use it on that.
I already used it on the first stuff check.
Gotcha.
Survival. Flood 0. Ah, yes. Yes.
Okay, so you don't want to take too long about it, but you make a crude attempt to kind of obliterate your tracks behind you.
Excellent. And I burn down but no, I don't burn. Alright.
And you make your way back to the party.
What he does is he does that dog thing where they drag their ass on the ground behind them. It's that. Yeah.
Alright, so yes. So when I get back, I will relay all the information Chris told me, basically.
I wasn't listening.
Putting my own spin on it. Oh, there was a camp around the other side of this hill. Fuck, we got lucky, man. If we chose to go around, we ran straight into them. And then there's the army's camped out at the high command. Looks like they're setting in for just maybe a nice stay. They're setting up camp. But
so I think we go off camp as well, and then in the morning see where they're heading, and then make the final decision.
Yeah, we need to at least from here see what direction. Like when they break camp in the morning, we'll see if they head north or south or towards the city. But at that point, I think at least some of us should head south.
It's just a training camp thing, and they're just gonna head back to Death Knell.
Right, if they're heading back to Death Knell, we saw what that.
It's just a drill for.
Exactly. Some drill. Be the worst.
It's the best place to set up camp.
I think it head west.
Yep.
Where we came.
Yeah, I would set that as well. But then I think we should also wake very early and try to make sure we catch them. But even if we get there after they've left, we should still be able to see what direction they went in. If we're not too late.
Hard to hide an army's tracks.
Exactly, but we should try to catch them as they're leaving if we can, in case the army splits in half or something.
Alright.
So yeah, we head back maybe 20-30 minutes, Chris, and then sort of camp.
Okay. Yeah, so 20-30 minutes, so basically back all the way down the hill and then a little further.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, sure.
And try to find somewhere they should.
What's that roll, Jacko?
A perception check for the night.
Oh, okay.
Wow, so early, Jacko.
Yeah, hang on. Firstly, we need Josh's survival check.
Yeah, you might get advantage, remember?
Right.
And we're giving advantage from someone. We're helping. Nice.
23.
So you got 3, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you have advantage, Jacko.
So what's the order of watches, sorry?
Jacko, me, Shalan.
Talia. Silas.
Talia. So makes me think a league and it's
Sorry, there was a mix of character names and real names there. What's the order using character
Talia. Talia, Silas, Shalan.
Talia, Silas, Shalan. Okay. Shalan. it's just basically as the sun is rising.
Mhm.
So like you guys just made the decision to rise early. So it's
Yes.
about the point at which you're about to wake everyone else up anyway. Maybe as in about 5 minutes time you would. You hear off to the south and east.
The direction
It's
of the
hard to
army.
judge distance. They're more straight. I guess that's the way they marched around the hill.
Yeah.
So, would you? Yeah, no, you definitely would know actually what this is because you're a night elf. You've been to Ashenvale. You're familiar with the conflicts going on there. The motorized buzzing hum of a goblin shredder, a machine of deforestation. In fact, you hear several of them. Well, I say several. Like,
But are these supplied shredders from house?
3 or so. Yes, exactly.
God.
Do I have any inkling of what the fuck they could be doing? Besides
By the sound
deforesting?
of things, cutting down trees. Yeah,
Right, I guess would I jump to the conclusion of A, the Forsaken have gotten a hold of these things, or B, there are actual goblins here deforesting this close to high command?
Could go either way. If they're deforesting here, like if there's goblins here deforesting, and they're not doing it like sneaky,
Right.
They've been told to do it. More likely, there's goblins. No, other people, apart from gnomes and goblins, don't really like using their crazy technology. And goblins are also about
too many deaths.
2 feet tall, and they're the only ones who can really fit in there. Shredders.
Right.
So
What do you mean? Any
Any
Kuzhok,
their
Chris?
hands on like custom shredders, and at the same time, Sylvanas is the war chief of the horde, right? And the goblins are part of the horde. So if she needed some trees cut down, she could definitely say, "Yo, Gallywix, or whoever's the leader of the goblins, bring over some shredders."
Mm-hmm. And does the sound seem to be getting closer, like louder? Or...
It's just started up. I mean, you could wait a bit and find out. In fact, the other 2 give me perception checks at disadvantage. If you get a 15 or higher, it wakes you up.
You'll just
It's quite
wake up.
loud.
Gonna be hard. No.
Hey.
The PTSD sets in, and Talia.
Jeez, no.
Here's the buzzing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a group of 3 or so goblin shredders, somewhere south and east of you, cutting down. Well, it's cutting down something. You assume trees, given that you're in a forest.
They're just
Yes.
mowing down the army, just straight.
Nice with goblins.
Sure, it'd be effective. Yeah, so
You
I'll
streaming,
turn
by the way. Oh, yeah, you are to-
And, wake Silas. Since
My God.
slept through it.
it's morning. Oh wait, what's the noise?
Goblin shudders. I think about 3 of them to the southeast.
Nice. Yeah, I see. They might be gathering wood, perhaps for
Yeah.
more siege
And I'm
engines.
saying that while I
Yeah, pack up camp.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's just quickly see if we can.
Actually, okay. So interesting point of lore that the Night Elves would know in this game. The goblin shredders may be commanded or used as a suit if you're a medium-sized creature, or a mecha if you're a small-sized creature. So a medium-sized creature can use it. It's just it functions slightly differently.
Huh.
More like a sort of Iron Man suit where you move your limbs to control it, rather than a mecha where you sort of pull levers to control it.
gotcha.
Alright, let's hijack some fucking.
Yeah, right.
There are 3 of them and 3 of us. I don't know. I like that idea.
Ethan. No, that's crazy. It's crazy. Don't do it.
They don't do it. The spies, man. Alright,
Best spies ever. Everyone thinks we're just goblin. Shredders.
How do you guys
Okay.
practice your goblin?
We should try to climb the hill again. It's a nice video, because if we just head around towards like the north. Wait, the camp was like in the southeast side or like the straight east side? The one
Straight east side of the hill. Wait, sorry. Well, actually, everything you saw was on the straight east side of the hill, including the little camp at the top and Forsaken High Command down at the base.
We go around the other way.
I think it's better to head straight up again. Like the camp was still like 100 feet down from the top, right? Right, Chris?
Yeah, 150.
So I would suggest we basically do the same thing we did before, where I tried to go from the north and I mean the way the camp is set up, it looks like they're mainly spying on the eastern side. So it makes but no, if they have a special place, a special bush where some people go in it, but they're trying to watch the other side to the main camp. So that'd be if they're trying to watch the west. Okay, so yeah, I still think you should try to enter side. Really screaming. Holy shit. Okay.
Is that bird?
No, it's definitely a kid.
It's a small child being tortured.
Yeah, apparently.
By a bird. Got it.
Oh yeah, got it. Good. Okay, but yeah, I would suggest we head around north to the top of the hill again, but on the north from the northern side.
Yep.
I mean, I wasn't really listening to Chris's description of the lookouts, but that should be.
Yeah, it should be fine, right, Chris? Should be fine.
It's gonna be fine for me.
Should be fine. Should be fine.
If Silas says it's fine, then it's fine.
Which side is currently the most forested? The north or the southern
north.
side of this hill?
I don't think it's southern. That's the direction of the shredders, right? It might not be far.
Right. But I'm just wondering.
Yeah, but the shredders would make it so we don't have to roll any stealth checks for some.
Alright, stop being silly. Alright, we're going around the north.
Yeah.
Sorry, around
Around the-
what?
Around the
north
northern
side of the hill.
Around the
Oh,
north
up.
side of the hill. Okay, so you guys, wait, so you're cycling around at the base, or you're going up the hill on?
Up when we get about halfway up, go around towards the northern side, then continue up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not all
But,
the way up.
I will, when we get quite close, I'm going to turn the other and be like, so if I'm going to again suggest that I go to the top and see what's happening, just in case. And in the possibility the situation had changed and it seems like perhaps I've been discovered, I would like you to run and head for south. Is that acceptable? If it looks like a fight is breaking up top, I think it is probably better to leave me to die. I
So I just
this
come over, I
is-
touch you on the shoulder and say, don't start a fight, and then I cast guidance on you.
Not gonna try. I'm just saying, if we're this close, it's unavoidable. If we try to start a full-on fight, none of us are getting out of here.
Oh, depends on how many.
Hey, I'm not. I've tried to act as little as boss as I can on the mission, but this is a close orders, and I'll give you
Got
to
it.
run
Any sounds of
if-
fighting, leave you to die.
Leave me to die. Or leave me to maybe find you later. Hopefully I can run. Alright. But don't wait around to see if it looks like I'm going to come out alive or if 5 fucking Forsaken are going to come over the hill.
Oh,
And with that said, hopefully I'll see you soon. And I go into stealthy mode again and try to repeat what I did last night, Chris. Entering up from the northern side towards the bush. When I get close, I'll check because I know someone had definitely been in the bush before. I'll be even more like oh, is that a footstep there? You know, I might even get to a point where I'm kind of watching the bush for 5 minutes, Chris, to check to see if I see any signs of movement or anything. Okay, so I could go up there from where I took the perception check before. To see if I saw someone in a bush.
Okay.
I might wait there for 5 minutes to see if I see.
Putting the cart a little before the horse here.
Exactly. No. What do you mean?
So we're setting off up the hill. So you guys
Oh, we haven't even
go all
got
the way
that
up,
yet.
then
What?
We're going to circle around to the plan is you're going to head all the way up, circle around to the north, and then approach.
We haven't even done this. I was saying my heartfelt goodbyes to them.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I was trying to get a handle on the plan because yesterday you went almost all the way up to the top, and then you smelled things, and that was when you set off and kind of went around from the north.
Yeah.
This time you're saying you want to go
Maybe
halfway
two-thirds,
up,
then
and
I
then-
go up by myself. No, yeah. No, we go half, 2/3 way up, then we all go around to north, then we go a little bit more, then I go up by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys head up the hill about halfway up.
2/3.
You
Yeah,
leave
sure.
the sound of buzzsaws in the distance behind you.
Okay.
You turn left and set off around the hill now that you're halfway up. And after a couple of minutes of walking around here, walking around here, down the hill and off to your left, so on the northwestern slope, as you're progressing, the sound of another set of shredders becomes more noticeable. Comes into earshot, becomes noticeable, and kind of from your elevator position, as you're kind of looking off in that direction, so 500 or so feet away, you see the top of a tree kind of topple and
That's pretty
disappear
close.
amongst the other trees.
Okay.
The night elves are pained.
We continue our plan.
We continue the
Moving
plan.
faster.
Okay. You move on past this set of shredders and arrive at the designated position, 2/3 of the way up the hill on the north
Maybe
side.
3/4 of. I wanted to be a couple hundred feet from the top.
Shut up! That's hardly that. I finally give you 2,000. Oh, 3/4. Shut the fuck up.
No, but we were going. Okay,
the fuck up.
okay, fine.
You arrive at
Did
your
you accidentally
designated
roll an ankle or two?
position 1/2 of the way up the hill on the
No.
north side.
No.
And then continue up the hill towards the summit together as a group until you get within how far of the
Let's
bush?
do 175.
175 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then.
It's 25 feet closer to the summit than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
It won't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then.
Then I do my, like, if you hear shouting, run, leave me to die. You know, that stupid speech.
We will, don't you worry.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
We're
better.
already
And
going,
then-
actually.
And then,
Then I
you're
think
gonna-
Shalan cast guidance on me. I think she did that.
Yes, Shalanka's guy.
And then I head up the hill towards the bush. So Chris, when I get to like within seeing the bush, like from a decent vantage point, I want to watch. If it looks like I can't spot anyone in there, I want to maybe watch it for just like maybe 3 minutes, just to see if they get lazy, they reposition, the bush shifts.
Sneak up to a tree that's sort of 60, 80 feet away from the bush.
Yeah.
And you peer on the trunk and observe the bush closely. Yeah. Okay. Give me a perception check.
Nice. Like I didn't have to make any stealth checks, so get close. It's good. It's scared, alright. Perception check. I don't get advantage, but I'm searching it for like a few.
Yeah, you can have advantage. Sure.
Nice.
You can.
Yeah,
I mean, technically, I was going to say actually you don't have advantage. You can.
I do get 2 rolls, or I can take 10. Oh, perfect! I do
That's what you've done. You perceive there to be no one in the bush.
Why would there be no one in the bush? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I want to there's fairly long grass, right? I want to go prone and army crawl towards the bush.
Okay.
Just a second. I got it.
You may make a stealth check with advantage.
Nice. Ooh, if I use the guidance, I also have advantage on the guidance, right? I will do that. I'm going to use guidance. So I mean, I get the guidance to both. No, but I get the guidance to both rules, right?
You get the guidance is a separate. It's it'll be plus D4 or whatever at the end.
Right. So that's the first one. Right. So I did re-roll the D20 part, right?
Sure.
Oh, this is better. So it's 25.
25, yeah.
That's pretty good. Better than
This is what's happening right now.
I get
Exactly
a meter behind
this.
him.
That's the length of the grass, right?
Let me have a look at this.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
And then he's like, "Oh, there's a doggy."
Okay, you arrive at the bush. Give me an investigation check.
But wait, there's someone in the bush.
There is no one in the bush.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
How do we close that door?
7.
You find no new tracks, and you also don't find any of the tracks that you thought you might have left yesterday.
Oh,
so,
perfect.
I was obliterating those.
Okay, now I'm in the bush and I'm in my safe place. I would like to spy out the east.
Okay, you look out east. The camp just down the hill, 150 or so feet away, is much unchanged, except they're not sitting around a fire chatting and cooking at the moment. About half of them are awake, and the other half are having a line of the 6.
Yep.
Down by high command, now that the sun has risen and you have a good view of it, you can see that indeed this is a manufacturing yard for siege engines.
Yeah.
A quick, they could kind of count the rows, count the columns, and a rough estimate you'd put there to be between sort of 50 and 70. Well, what are those? What the Forsaken catapults called? Not meat wagons.
Wait.
The other.
Corpse throwers or some crap.
Yeah, something like that.
Creatures of... Yeah, I can't remember what they're called, but they're catapulty thing, undead catapult.
How many did I say?
50 to 70. Just it's a quick count. You can see a longer,
Yeah.
a more exact count, but this is just
Yeah,
your
that's
first viewing. In addition, what is happening, you see that, to the best of your ability to tell, one of the 5 legions has decamped and is currently forming up facing along the road that would cause them to march towards the Undercity.
Okay.
The other 4 legions are remaining encamped, and they are enhancing the fortifications they've done with a palisade wall.
Interesting.
And in fact, there are... You can, like, as you watch, you can see wagons of lumber being dragged in out of the forest.
Now, palisade wall. How long would that take them to make?
20,000 men. Obviously not all of them are committed, but it's going to take them like the day.
Okay, but they wouldn't do this. They were like gonna head off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It seems like you would judge there to have been a change of plans, that only one legion is leaving today, and the other 4 are settling in for a slightly longer stay.
Yeah. Okay. Good news. Good news. Good news. Okay.
And one seems to be heading off towards the Undercity.
Okay, one is heading off towards the Undercity. Okay, I will retreat back to the others.
On the way, no.
Oh.
You arrive back at the others.
Oh, was one of the legions going? Was the legion going to Undercity? Did one of the any wagons that had the plague in it? Because there were several wagons with plague, right?
Those. Oh yeah, you would have seen those in the.
They would have said in 5th legion.
They're all parked. I guess it's just the most appropriate term, like in the construction yard, in and around where the siege engines are.
Okay. You also said you also said I could like write down that I remembered that I can remember like all the different legions. Can I write down that I know the sigil of the one that went towards the Undercity?
No, you're too far away to make that out.
I can't see the 4 to the left and know which one was this one that's not.
No, it's a mile away downhill. You can't make out the banners.
Okay. Not even if I use my scope.
Give me a perception.
I think I was like a mile away when I saw them the first time.
Give me a perception check with this.
Okay. 8.
Now I want to give you, before I tell you the answer, or before I give you the possibility of knowing the answer, I do want to remind you, because you would
the light will shine off the.
Yeah, the sun is rising in your face.
Yeah, in my face, yes. Indeed.
Basically, directly the way you're facing, and you're pointing a reflective surface like at you. There's like a chance that anyone watching your direction would spot. Okay. So we're
fine, I don't care about the sigil. I would guess which one it is. It's fine to write that down. To tell my boss.
Yeah, I know exactly which one it was. It's this one.
Where's my base? Okay, but yeah, I'll head back towards the other 2.
Yeah, Silas appears as if by magic out of the brush.
Are you sure it's not him doggy crawling again?
Give me another survival check if you want to obliterate your tracks.
Oh yeah. 14.
Boom.
Obliterated. Alright, again. Were you listening this time, Jacko?
Kind of.
Alright, I relayed the information. One legion heading to the Undercity, the others seem to be setting up for more permanent stay.
Which one's heading to the Undercity?
I believe it is the one with the crossed swords at the sigil, but I wouldn't bet my life over, say, a superior. That is what happened.
Okay.
Maybe that's what I actually saw, Chris. Who knows? Maybe I thought, it kind of looks like that. Kind of.
I'll roll.
Turns out it's like.
Okay, but
it's an eagle, and you're like, fuck.
The time has come to make our decision. With the shredders cutting down the surrounding area, it'll be harder and harder for us to hide. We don't know how long the 4 will be camped out here. It looks like it's at least going to be a couple of days, I think.
Well, with the shredders, I think there's more evidence that they're going to
stay for longer. Yeah.
Well, it's that, or they're clearing the path.
Possibly, but like, it looks like they were setting up for manufacture.
For what?
For manufacture of like siege weapons, right, Chris? Like, could I see people? You said it was like set up for that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly what they need the lumber for right now is building the palisade wall.
Oh yeah. That's what it was for. Okay. No. So like maybe that's part of it, Shalan, but I think they're mainly using it to build the wall, which they've started to construct.
Okay.
But
overall, this is great news for us.
this is good news. It means we have more time, but it means we should take advantage of that time, I believe, and get this information back, and hopefully it will get to the Alliance before the army does.
Mm-hmm.
But it means it's time for the decision of how to proceed next. And I give it a couple minutes thinking. In game and out of game.
Casales wants to go traverse the Nightmare Vale on his own.
It does sound fun.
Just saying.
Wait, I pull out the map that we all have.
Yeah.
How long from our current position, taking high command, how long will it take us to travel to Gilneas through
You
Silver?
go wham. I would suggest you go quite west first and then go down. 80
So
miles?
in a straight line, 100 and...
5 miles.
Or are you saying that once we get past the Greymane Wall, are we safe?
Safe, yeah, sure.
And we
Say.
start getting it.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
these
They took
small
back the
settlement
wall,
along the
right?
way.
So that's 170 kilometers.
Do that in 2 days. How fast did Aragorn and Legolas only get there? Pretty fucking fast, right?
Like the two of you can do 20 miles a day, like more if you push more, but like
20
default no constitution or stamina check travel would be 20 miles a day.
20 miles.
So 4 days.
No, make it more 25. You're like a couple
Yeah,
of
right.
people can travel faster.
So if I'm by myself, I travel even faster. So 3.5 days, maybe 3 if you push stuff real hard. And now if I head towards Brill, that's like, I can make that a day if I really push myself at least.
Also, I'll point out that Silver Pine Forest is Forsaken territory. Like you're not just going to be able to
Yeah.
Right.
follow the road all the way to Gilneas at maximum speed.
So,
And we still have to worry about the river Ervas. Is that right?
Yeah.
We have to find a crossing point.
It doesn't have an abomination standing on the bridge.
how big do we just walk over? Just wade. It'll take maybe like 5 days if you were slow due to travel, or maybe like 4 if you could travel okay pace, I think. Yeah, 4 I think you should be able to make it in. And then
4 days. Say we're successful. The plan is to deliver the information and then head back to you?
the plan is to, once you're in Gilneas City, to charge
Wait.
a griffin to... What's the name of the capital? Goldshire?
Stormwind.
No, Stormwind, yeah, that's it. Stormwind. To get a griffin back to Stormwind, reconvene with Elias String.
That could
Right.
take. So you'd be only one.
Weeks.
I would suggest you mean Stormwind. I think you trying to come find me is crazy. Who knows where I'll be? My mission might have changed. I might have got unforeseen circumstances. I might be on the other side of the world. Who knows?
Should say you come upon a standing army.
Exactly
Your
right.
orders might change.
They're fucked, aren't they? Yeah. But I would say we both try to make a meeting point Stormwind at Elias Strings. And I've decided that while I think you're I guess volunteering to travel by yourself, Paleo, I did really consider it, and I do not think it's a bad plan, but
I think it's a bad plan.
I don't feel comfortable leaving the responsibility with any other single person. I feel like I've got to know you a lot better, but I still feel uneasy doing it, and also for Shalan into more danger. I think at this point, you two deserve to at least have the safer route. And I think I am more trained to do it as a solo mission than you are, to be quite frank. I think my my chance of being undetected is higher than yours.
Not the biggest fan of your reasoning, but it.
Okay. Then I have a quick letter I would like to write, and I quickly want to I have some paper this. I'm a spy. I've got to be writing all this crap down somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah, I want to get out a a bit of paper and a pen or chalk or whatever, and I'll want to write like a letter to Tring.
Okay.
And can I write it after the game and just send it?
Yes.
Okay.
But if we do get captured, then maybe you should.
If you get captured, burn this fucking paper.
I'll eat it. I'll eat it. Yeah.
And
Do you
cut out
write
your
it,
and
do you write it in cheese cans? Like
exactly. Well, yeah, obviously, I definitely write cheese can.
Can't.
at 7.
The fox of hell has gone bad.
Spotted 7. Look, Wensleydale.
Don't trust the Wensleydale.
But yeah, I write in cheese can. But then I'm like, if you could guess this to get this in, I would.
He talks about the discovery of 5 new cheeses.
Exactly.
The Alterac turned out a little more holy than we anticipated.
Oh, I'm gonna write it in cheese can, Chris, and I know assume that I'm saying all the correct information. Perfect.
He's just going to write a letter about cheese.
Yep.
It just has
Yep.
hidden.
But it has all the correct information. Chris, don't you worry. Okay.
Okay.
But I spent a couple minutes quickly writing something down, and I like kind of fold it and like kind of seal it. I don't know what with some crap. I don't know, wax. I surely have some. Use some earwax, and then I say, well, it's been a pleasure to know you. It went off to a bit of a rocky start, but at least if we say goodbye here, I hope we say goodbye as friends, not just as allies. And hopefully, I'll see you in Stormwind before too long.
Yeah. Well, good luck to both of us.
I kind of transform out
Shine
of
on
war.
all of us.
I transform out of war in form. So and then I do them like a proper handshake. I offer my hand at least to both of them.
I definitely accept.
Yes.
And then
Any
will-
other messages we should get out? Friends, family.
I kind of like do like a sad little smile, and I'm like, no, just a message. I should be fine.
Question is, do you have your new character?
Yeah,
And,
so we're splitting the party now. So by simple majority, we're going to go for the rest of the session.
No.
Shallan and Talia. So Ian, you've got that opportunity now to write the letter.
Okay.
So go ahead and do that, and then you can roll your 2 sets of 40/60 ones.
What?